Ever since I learned that you could use a laser to lift colors out of stainless steel, I knew I wanted to do something special with it. So I teamed up with our uMeta to see if I could make fully laser etched pop art. And in this video, I'm going to walk you through how I did it. Unlike with printing, where something like ink is added to a material, the way that laser color marking works is by taking away a tiny amount of the surface of the stainless steel. What's left behind is a very thin oxide layer, and depending on tiny variations in the thickness of that layer, it will reflect different wavelengths, which we then see as colors. This does mean that dialing in the power settings for color marking can be incredibly tricky and can vary wildly between machines. I could give you my settings for yellow, and for you they would come out purple. But when we do get to that point, I am going to give you some great tips on how to narrow down towards the colors that you're looking for. For this, I'm going to be using our Lotus micrometer. It's a 30-watt fiber laser with a ton of flexibility in power delivery, which means I can really dial in those fine settings that you need for color marking. But before we get to the marking bit of it, we actually have to talk about the artwork. Remember earlier when I said that color marking isn't like printing? See, if you gave a black square with a red circle in the middle of it to a printer, it would know to print black until it hit the red, then print red, and then print black again. But lasers don't do that. With lasers, you give them a shape and they fill it in. But this creates a problem, because if you have artwork like this one, where there are different bits that overlap, then what's going to happen is the laser is going to mark the black part first, and then you can't mark yellow on top. So you have to get your artwork ready. But don't stress, I'm going to go through how you do it. Make sure that all of your artwork is in one layer. Then hit Ctrl-A to select everything. Then go to Window and then Pathfinder. Inside that Pathfinder window is a button called Trim. Click that button, wait a few seconds, and boom! Now, all of your artwork is a complete perfect cutout of everything else. Now that we've done that, we need to organize it all into colors to get it ready for the laser to mark it. We're gonna make a new layer and call it yellow. I now select anything on that entire artwork that is yellow. I click on my yellow layer, Object, Arrange, Send to Current Layer. This means that now I have an artwork of just the things that are yellow. And I keep repeating this for every individual color that I have. This is how the laser is going to interpret your artwork. So now it is ready to be exported. Hide everything apart from one of the layers. Hit Ctrl-A to select all. Then go to File, Export As, and export it as a DXF. Very importantly, make sure that Export Selected Art Only is ticked. That means that then you will have a perfect DXF file of only the yellow, black, blue, red bits of your artwork. And now we get to the good bit, the actual color marking. Before I give you these tips, I do have to give a massive shout out to one of our field engineers, Ryan O'Rourke, who actually gave me his color parameters testing file as a starting place to make these images. Ryan, you're an absolute legend, and my God, you saved me hours of time, so thank you. But as well as that, I do have some pointers on how to get really nice, clear color marking. Firstly, don't start with your artwork. Start with some test squares. Make a 5 by 5 millimeter square, put some settings into it, and see what colors you can produce. Secondly, I know that power settings vary from machine to machine, but in general, I would keep them quite low. Anything above a certain power level is going to default to a kind of black or white, so you want to keep your power settings quite low. Thirdly, don't change too much at once. Pick one factor, maybe frequency, and change it by 20 kilohertz at a time. The tolerances really are that small in color mark. And finally, once you've got your settings dialed in and you are ready to mark, it doesn't matter what order you do the colors in, but what I would suggest is that you do your white layer first, then all of your colors, and then the black. It just makes it look much neater. And that's exactly what I did. I took my artwork and separated it into different colors, put those onto the laser, and dialed in the settings until the colors were just perfect. And this is the result. Guys, I've got to admit, I am chuffed with these. I am so thrilled with how they came out. The colors are vibrant, they just absolutely pop. That's what's crazy. It's just the laser doing all of the work here. And look, if you can't believe it either and you want to come and see them in person, we are actually having an industry open day from June 3rd to June 5th, 2025. So if you're in the industry, you're looking for something like an industrial laser solution, then come down and see what we do. It's not just going to be this, it's going to be live demos of automation. You're going to get to see people who've been working with lasers for the last 30 years and get their expert insight. Guys, thank you so much again for watching, and I will see you in the next one.